Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode for the Coaching Conversations podcast. Now, we are on Stitcher, we are on iTunes, and multiple different channels. Please check us out. Now, one of the things that you'll get out of our podcast episodes is a lot of content, a lot of strategy. It's not fluff, it's not concept, yet we really want you to engage with the content and let us know your feedback. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. If there's topics you'd love to have us address, we would love to share them with you. Let us know your impact and let us know your feedback. So what is coaching? With everything going on with artificial intelligence, coaching and training and instructional design, learning and development, LMS platforms, everybody is going through really fast-paced, rapid transformational change. Yet I go back to one fundamental. We're going to have to talk to each other. So how is this affecting coaching? What is coaching? What's really amazing to me after 32 years, we do something very unique as human beings. I do it, you do it, everybody does it. And that is, we tend to put our own spin, our own definition on things. I want to just share with you just a quick reference point. This is not in reference to everybody. It's just in reference to this situation. I was talking to somebody who was telling me what they were doing, and they kept putting the phrase coaching in there. They said, well, I was coaching him. I was trying to provide coaching. And I said, well, walk me through what happened. And the person started to tell me how they felt and their frustration and their anger. And then they shared some comments they made to their coworkers and even management above them. This was not coaching, everybody. This was frustration and feedback. And then even more anger that the people didn't receive it well. So think about what I just said fundamentally. If I come to you and I say, oh, I'm angry, you're really frustrating me. I need you to be a better teammate. Does anyone in their right mind hearing that say, yeah, you know what? I could be a better teammate. It does not happen that way. So what's so interesting to me is how we put the title of coaching or leadership or mentoring on things when we're actually not doing that. So let me give you my 3 definitions of coaching. Number 1, we have something called situational coaching. We have to coach to a situation. And this is where we make a mistake in the workplace. We've got 2 employees not working together. We bring them in. We say, John, you got to get along with Susie. Susie, you got to get along with John. And we walk away from that meeting thinking, oh, I provided wonderful coaching. No, you didn't. You had a command and demand that will not behaviorally have any type of long-lasting change. The next day might be better, but it does not facilitate change. Now, in the moment, do we need to situationally coach? Absolutely. The second type of coaching, which is very popular, and that is called observational coaching. We call it spot coaching. We tend to spot something. We see something. We want to coach to it. So we have to be really honest. Are we triggered? Do we spot things that are positive, or are we triggered by things that are negative? Typically, when I ask that question, most people will say, well, yeah, negative, things we want to fix and correct. So now we got to think about the psychology of that. If out of every 10 times we provide spot or observational coaching and it's correcting and fixing, even though we might be right, what is the impact on the people that receive that? Is it inspiring? Is it motivating? Do we even know how they're taking that insight, that spot coaching, that observational feedback? Then the third, which is something we subscribe to at Progress Coaching, and that is continuous coaching. Scheduling time every week, every 2 weeks, focusing on a specific area, and driving improvement and using what we call a coaching framework. Now, we have something called QALMS. There's Grow Coaching. There's other frameworks out there. And the reason I think a framework is so important to mention is if you don't have a framework, it's a lot like getting up in front of 500 people and doing a speech with no outline and no clue what you're about to say. Coaching is just a different stage, but it still deserves people's attention. So why do I share this? At your companies, if you're coaching, create a definition. Coaching is, fill in the blank, by doing what, and then list the attributes and actions. That's a methodology we teach called Define and Coach. I promise you, if you do not have a definition at your company, you will have vastly different interpretations of what coaching is. So I was traveling out to a client site about 6 months ago, and I was riding along, and we went to a couple locations, and one of the gentlemen that was driving me was telling me of his coaching and his visits. And by the time we got done, I thought to myself, wait a minute, none of that was coaching. It was all feedback. Now, intentions were good. There was a lot of strength-based feedback, yet there wasn't a lot of coaching. See, if we go back to some fundamental statistics, number one, the Gallup organization reports people engage 8 times more when we lead with their strengths. Come on, let's be honest. When we call someone into our office and say, Bob, I need to see my office right away, what's the employee's first response? Every time I ask that question for 32 years, I've never had a positive feedback, never had a positive response. Typically, people say, uh-oh, I must be in trouble. Why? Because we've conditioned that. In addition, Tasha Eurich reports 85% of people significantly lack self-awareness. So if we're giving feedback, 8.5 out of every 10 people are discounting it. They're dismissing it. They're rolling their eyes, even if they're not physically rolling their eyes. So what happens is we have to ask questions. So what's going on? What are you going to do to positively engage? What are 2 things that you're doing well? And what's that one thing that you have an opportunity to raise your game? Notice I did not say the word constructive feedback. Coaching is by doing what? Make sure you define what coaching is. Don't leave it open for interpretation, or you're going to have extremely inconsistent application and inconsistent results across the organization. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.